Have you ever woken up feeling as though you were already exhausted before your feet even hit the floor? The alarm goes off, the day hasn't even properly begun, yet your energetic tank is completely empty. If you spend your daily existence mechanically executing 100 different items on an endless to-do list, oscillating frantically between demanding work, family care, domestic chores, and a lingering heavy cloud of guilt that you aren't doing enough, I have an essential truth for you. It is not because you are weak-willed. It is not because you are inherently flawed or failing. Your brain is simply locked in survival mode. It is running on an outdated evolutionary script designed for immediate physical danger, leaving you feeling like a frayed, sentient bag of anxiety. The good news? You do not need to burn your life down or execute a multi-thousand-dollar lifestyle overhaul to fix this. You can systematically recalibrate your nervous system, stepping back into autonomy, presence, and genuine daily happiness through tiny, targeted micro-habits. We often fall into the trap of believing that profound personal transformation requires monumental effort. Self-help culture loves to tell us that to fix our burnout, we must meditate for 45 minutes every morning, go on long device-free silent retreats, or maintain elaborate, multi-page gratitude journals. But let's be completely realistic. Where is a person with a full-time job, family obligations, and endless real-world responsibilities supposed to find an extra hour in their day? When your morning consists of a chaotic 20-minute sprint to get yourself presentable, feed everyone, and tackle an overflowing inbox, those grand self-improvement plans feel less like inspiration and more like an insult. You try to start fresh on Monday, crash from sheer exhaustion by Tuesday afternoon, and end up feeling worse about yourself than when you started. Neuroscience offers a far more effective and gentle way forward. Your brain does not alter its fundamental circuitry through sporadic, massive bursts of willpower. It rewires itself through hyperconsistent, microscopic inputs. This capacity for change is known as neuroplasticity. Think of your neural pathways like paths in a dense forest. When you spend months or years constantly worrying about the future, hyperfixating on your flaws, or ruminating over stressful interactions, you are paving a massive 6-lane asphalt superhighway of chronic stress through that forest. Signals zip down that highway at lightning speed without any conscious effort. Meanwhile, the peaceful, grounded path of ease and joy has grown over with weeds simply because you haven't had the bandwidth to walk down it. To build a new pathway, you don't need to bring in heavy construction machinery and bulldoze the forest overnight. You simply need to take small, repeatable micro-steps along the exact same trail every single day. Your nervous system does not measure the sheer intensity of an action. It measures its frequency and consistency. By implementing tiny, scientifically backed physical and mental resets into the routine you already have, you can bypass your brain's resistance and gently steer yourself out of chronic survival mode. Here are 6 powerful science-backed micro-interventions that take mere seconds to execute, designed to reset your system, restore your focus, and return a sense of genuine agency to your everyday life. The 120-second internal clock reset. Most people begin their day in a state of immediate passive sensory overload. You wake up, reach over to your nightstand, and spend your first 5 minutes staring into a high-contrast screen while buried beneath blue light, work notifications, and alarming news headlines. Before you've even put your clothes on, your brain has absorbed a flood of synthetic inputs, signaling to your brain's threat detection centers that the environment is volatile. Step outside for 2 minutes of unfiltered morning sunlight to sync your circadian rhythm, boost serotonin, and stop the sentient bag of anxiety feeling. Wake up. Skip immediate phone scroll. Step outside for 120 seconds. Sync circadian rhythm. When natural sunlight hits the specialized photoreceptors in your eyes early in the morning, even through light cloud cover, it triggers a precise hormonal cascade. It signals your master circadian clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, to release a healthy, natural pulse of cortisol to wake you up properly, while setting a timer for the release of sleep-inducing melatonin later that night. Simultaneously, this exposure stimulates the synthesis of serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for emotional stability and calm focus. Crucially, this light must be unfiltered. Sitting near a window or looking through glass filters out the specific wavelengths of light required to trigger this response. You don't need to go for a long jog or do yoga in the yard. Simply step onto your porch, balcony, or front step with your morning beverage, leave your phone indoors, and let the natural daylight hit your eyes for 2 short minutes. It is the single most effective physiological lever to tell your brain the day has started, you are safe, and your internal biological clock is aligned. The 40-second panic button breath. When chronic stress accumulates throughout the day, your body subconsciously shifts its breathing pattern. You begin taking short, shallow breaths into your upper chest, which restricts oxygen flow and signals to your sympathetic nervous system that you are under active siege. This keeps your heart rate elevated, tightens the muscles in your shoulders and neck, and leaves you feeling perpetually jittery. Interrupt stress spirals by inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 4, and exhaling for 6 to signal your nervous system that there is no bear chasing you. Phase duration action biological effect. Inhale 4 seconds deep breath through the nose. Expanding the diaphragm draws oxygen deep into lower lung lobes. Hold 4 seconds gentle pause without straining allows gas exchange and stabilizes heart rate. Exhale 6 seconds slow. Controlled release through the mouth activates the vagus nerve to slow heart rate. This simple pattern, often called an extended exhale breath, works because it directly engages the vagus nerve, the primary highway of the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and digest mechanism. When your exhalation is intentionally made longer than your inhalation, it sends a physiological command down the vagus nerve to slow your heart rate and lower your blood pressure. Your primitive survival brain cannot distinguish between a tight work deadline and a physical predator chasing you through the woods. It relies entirely on physical signals to judge danger. By consciously slowing down your exhale, you deliver unmistakable physical proof to your nervous system that there is no active threat. Practice this 3 to 4 times whenever you feel a surge of tension before opening a high-stakes email, stepping into a difficult conversation, or simply transitioning from work mode to family time. The post-meal buffer stroll. For many people, meals have become another item to cross off a chaotic list. We eat rapidly while standing at the kitchen counter, typing at our desks, or scrolling through our feeds. Shortly after finishing, a heavy, foggy fatigue sets in, the classic mid-afternoon slump. We blame our productivity or willpower, but the culprit is often a sharp spike in subsequent crash in blood sugar, combined with hours of uninterrupted sitting. Take a 10-minute aimless walk after eating to regulate blood sugar, release gentle endorphins, and break the cycle of sedentary guilt. Key takeaway: you do not need power walking gear, an intense fitness regimen, or a specific step goal to make this work. The goal here is gentle, continuous movement, not athletic exertion. When you walk for even 10 minutes after a meal, your large skeletal muscles contract and pull glucose directly out of your bloodstream to use as immediate fuel, independent of insulin production. This dramatically blunts the post-meal blood sugar spike that typically leads to brain fog and sudden energy crashes an hour later. Furthermore, this aimless movement walking without a specific destination or urgent purpose allows your brain to enter what neuroscientists call the default mode network. This is the mental state where creative problem-solving occurs, thoughts are gently processed, and subconscious tension is released. It creates a physical and psychological buffer between eating and jumping right back into stressful labor, breaking the cycle of feeling stuck at a desk while harboring guilt over being sedentary. The social connection hack. When you live in survival mode for extended periods, social interactions start to feel like a demanding chore, rather than a source of genuine human warmth. You might find yourself drifting through small talk on autopilot, feeling detached, alienated, or emotionally distant from the very people around you: colleagues, neighbors, service workers, or even acquaintances. Use people's names naturally in conversation to trigger their dopamine response, making interactions smoother and helping you feel more connected to the world. At the coffee shop, "Thank you so much for the coffee, Sarah." In a work meeting, "That's a really solid point, Alex, let's explore that." With a neighbor, "Good morning, Marcus. Hope you have a great weekend." A person's own name is, psychologically speaking, one of the sweetest and most significant sounds in any language. Hearing one's own name instantly lights up the brain's reward centers, signaling validation, recognition, and safety. It acts as a subtle microdose of dopamine and oxytocin for both the listener and the speaker. When you make a conscious effort to look someone in the eye and use their name, you instantly elevate a transactional interaction into an authentic human connection. It breaks you out of your internal loop of self-absorbed anxiety, grounding you firmly in the present moment. Over time, these brief moments of genuine connection stack up, creating an ambient sense of belonging and lowering your overall baseline of social anxiety. The Didn't Suck Microjournal. The human brain possesses an ancient evolutionary mechanism known as negativity bias. Thousands of years ago, ignoring a potential threat could mean immediate death, whereas missing out on a pleasant moment carried little consequence. As a result, our brains evolved to act like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones. You can have 99 small things go right during your day, but as soon as you lay your head on the pillow, your brain will fixate on the one awkward sentence you said in a meeting or the chore you forgot to finish. This creates a persistent narrative that your life is an overwhelming series of failures. Every night, list 3 tiny, hyperspecific positive details from your day to retrain your brain's evolutional pessimism into a treasure map for good moments. Nightly routine: identify 3 hyperspecific details. Write them down. Shift brain's default focus. The crucial key to this practice lies in the hyperspecificity. Vague entries like "my family" or "my job" do not engage the brain's neuroplastic pathways because they lack emotional resonance. Instead, force your brain to recall concrete micro-moments. The exact warm temperature of the water during my morning shower. The way my dog let out a contented sigh when I petted behind his ears. The crisp, satisfying crunch of the apple 1/8 at 3 p.m. By scanning your memory specifically for these microscopic details every evening, you actively retrain your brain's selective attention filters. Throughout the day, your brain will begin scanning your environment for positive moments to save for your nightly list, effectively transforming your perspective from a search for hazards into a treasure map for quiet joy. The healthy dopamine menu. When we are exhausted and stressed, our brains crave quick, effortless hits of dopamine to offset our low mood. This is why we so easily fall into garbage dopamine traps. Endless doom scrolling on social media, binge-watching shows we don't even like, or mindlessly eating junk food. While these activities offer an immediate spike in brain dopamine, they are quickly followed by a sharp drop below our baseline, leaving us feeling far more drained, anxious, and depleted than before. Replace garbage dopamine, like doom scrolling, with a curated list of less than 10-minute activities like playing with a pet or making tea that actually nourish your system. Create your own dopamine menu, divided into accessible categories, so you don't have to think when your willpower is depleted. 1. The 2-minute quick fixes. Step outside and stretch your arms up toward the sky. Drink a full glass of cold water with a squeeze of lemon. Put on one favorite high-energy song and listen intently. 2. The 5-minute nourishers. Mindfully prepare a cup of herbal tea, noticing the aroma and warmth. Spend 5 undivided minutes petting or playing with your pet. Do a quick, gentle stretch targeting your neck and lower back. 3. The 10-minute resets. Water your houseplants and trim off any dead leaves. Doodle or color freely on a blank sheet of paper without judgment. Step onto your porch and observe 5 distinct natural sounds. Keep this list saved on your phone or written on a sticky note attached to your desk. When you feel the urge to reach for a digital distraction, open your menu and pick one item. These activities provide a slow, sustained release of dopamine paired with real physiological nourishment, leaving you recharged rather than depleted. The compound effect of tiny transformation is not an all-or-nothing proposition. You do not need to rewrite your entire identity overnight, nor do you need to execute every single habit perfectly every single day. The true secret to mental recovery lies entirely within the compound effect of microscopic, consistent actions. Focus on these incremental wins to move from feeling dead inside to regaining a sense of autonomy and daily happiness. Plus, the path of small wins. Micro-habit execution. Tiny release of dopamine/serotonin. Rebuilt sense of agency. Reduced baseline cortisol. Result: shifting from survival mode to sustained daily happiness. Plus, when you incorporate even 1 or 2 of these micro resets into your day, you send a clear, powerful signal to your subconscious mind. I am taking back control. My well-being matters, and I am capable of directing my own experience. Each micro-win acts as a tiny vote for the person you want to become, a person who is present, grounded, and resilient. Do not wait for a low-stress season to arrive before you start caring for your mental and physical health. The stressful seasons are precisely when these tools matter most. Pick one single micro-habit from this guide to focus on for the coming week. Master it, let it become effortless, and watch as the cumulative power of small choices quietly, beautifully transforms your everyday life.